Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Soils.
Pledge. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are representing Charlotte Elementary School. We have led our pledge force. These are fine, upstanding fifth graders that Ms. Cunningham has selected to come represent our school. When I asked them about the year, what made it so special, what's the best thing about Charlotte Elementary School? Without hesitation, their answer was their teachers. What's best about your teachers? They're nice, they're understanding, they are patient, they have strong backbones and stand up for what's right. How about fifth graders? Well, it goes, also, they're very excited about the 9-week celebration that they had for behavior and grades. The glow party that they got to have with Ms. Cunningham, that was big for them. So we appreciate what Charlotte Elementary School is doing, and we certainly appreciate these students representing Charlotte Elementary School with their leadership. Let me introduce to you Mr. Cooper Spann. I also have Luke Tennant. We have Miss Brinkley McCandless and Autumn Pearson. How about a round of applause? Cunningham gets one because he is the principal. He gets to do that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask County Mayor Bob Ryle to come forward. We had an officer election at our last meeting, and Ms. Sonia Brogdon was elected to be the chair of the board, and Mr. Joe Underwood was elected to be the vice chair. So, Mayor Ryle, I would ask you and be honored tonight to have you issue the oath of office to our two leadership team of the Board of Education. So.
Well, take all the individuals if you'd like, just come around front, we'll take everyone at a time. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. Support the Constitution of Tennessee and the United States. And faithfully perform the duties of a member of the Board of Education as its chairman. Congratulations. Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I do want to.
Do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of Tennessee and the United States. Faithfully perform the duties of the office of a member of the Board of Education as its vice chair. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Ryle.
Next item on the agenda is public comment on actionable items. We had none. Next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes or additions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to propose a change, please. Like to
Yes, Mr.
add to the agenda, probably under administration, wherever you see fit, discussion of the November school board meeting and maybe making a change on that.
I need to add under administration to the interim director contract.
Oh, that was it. I was gonna remind
Sorry.
you. No, all good.
Any other changes?
Ms. Brogdon, is there, I see under maintenance, we got, an update. I would like to make sure that our budget amendment from our fund balance of 8 point whatever million it was can be an actionable item if it's there.
I had that included as item C2. Mr.
Okay,
Parker.
perfect, thank you.
Yes.
Any other additions or changes?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to
Second
approve.
motion.
Second to approve. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervert,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes,
all ayes.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. The minutes were emailed to you. Are there any corrections?
I would move to approve the minutes of September 21 and September 28, 2023. As presented.
Mr. Haley? We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervert,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
yes,
all ayes.
Next, under recognition, we have our student board representatives. Which one wants to go first? Mr. Albright.
Hello, I am thrilled to be back to report Red Hawk happenings. At Creekwood, we have been enjoying the beginning of quarter two. Starting with academics, seniors came in on Tuesday, October 24th for another shot at the ACT before college decisions. Also, 25 10th and 11th graders volunteered to participate in taking the PSAT the same day. Tonight, October 26th, a financial aid meeting was held at 6 p.m. in the auditorium for senior students and parents. A representative from the Tennessee Student Assistance Corporation, TSAC, will be presenting information about the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, state and federal scholarships, as well as grants and other financial aid information for college. Report cards for the first quarter were handed out to students Wednesday, October 25th. 242 CWHS students made the A honor roll, while 231 received AB honor roll. Also, 17 students received their CTE OSHA certifications that helped them to become a Tennessee Ready graduate. Now on to sports. Many fall sports seasons have come to an end. Volleyball had an impressive season as they were district champions, region champions, sectional champions, and ended up the season third in the state. District MVP was Savannah Baker and region MVP Kendall Bryan. Also, Coach Baker received AF Bridges Mid-State Coach of the Year and NFHS TSSAA Coach of the Year honors. The girls' soccer season has come to a close as well. Athletes Lily Killebrew, Maddie Engel, and Marley Caldwell were chosen as members of the all-district team. Golf also wrapped up their season with senior night and their end-of-season banquet. The CWHS football team unfortunately lost to Greenbrier this past Friday, but hope to bounce back tomorrow at home against White House for senior night. The cheer squad are in first place in large varsity non-tumbling division for a bid to nationals and third place in their game day performance. Creekwood's dance and cheer team performed alongside Charlotte and William James Middle School at the homecoming pep rally. Next, our cross-country athletes finished fourth in the regional round to advance to the state tournament. Boys and girls basketball have begun conditioning for the upcoming season, and lastly, bowling is off to a winning start. Keep rolling, Red Hawks. Moving on to clubs. Our Beta Club held their first vote for officers for this upcoming school year. The recipients are President Heath Albright, Vice President Ava Beckwith, Secretary Jordan Worley, Treasurer Alexis Wells, and Historian Boone Harris. Beta members have been busy preparing for the state convention in November with fundraising and completing online competitions. In addition, our Jobs for American Graduates / Tennessee students are hosting the Harvest on the Hill Fall Festival tonight at Creekwood. There will be games, food trucks, trunk or treat, and more. Many CWHS clubs and sports are sponsoring or helping out with a portion of this event. Our HOSTA Club has been studying up for regional competitions, and our student government students had their annual History Day field trip today for new members to gain knowledge about what makes Dickson County unique. These students also worked very hard to ensure that this year's homecoming ran smoothly. At last, Mr. Harden took 4 Skills USA leadership officers to compete in Murfreesboro in various CTE competitions. Homecoming is always a hit at Creekwood. This year, it was very competitive between all classes. Overall, taking into consideration float, skit, sign, and pep rally, the top class was the seniors. Right behind them, the freshmen, then juniors, and then 4th place, the sophomores. The parade was very popular this year in Charlotte, and throughout the week, many students participated in fun dress-up days to show their school spirit. Additionally, our Hawk Nest Press student sold buttons that corresponded to each class's theme. The pep rally was electric and loud, and also live streamed so that those who could not make it in person could still see. With all of that being said, we are excited to see what this quarter holds for us leading up to the holiday season. Let's go, Red Hawks. Thank you.
Good evening, school board members. It's great to be back in person with you. And students and staff on the Hill are getting back into the swing of things after fall break. In academics, on Tuesday, we also had the opportunity to take the ACT, the seniors did, and underclassmen had the opportunity to take the PSAT. The ACT is also being offered this Saturday and December 1st. In December, the FAFSA will open, and in January is FAFSA Frenzy Month. Our criminal justice CTE program has a new student. CJ is a 9-week-old lab that was donated to the high school by Cane Creek Labradors. CJ will be trained as a working drug dog that the students in our CTE programs will learn from. Both News Channel 2 and 5 have interviewed students and teachers about the role CJ will play at our school. Our choir recently traveled and competed in Midstate. Emma Burt, Caleb Fleet, Ross Metters, Katie Mobley, and Hannah Timmons made Midstate choir. Olivia McMahon, Maylee Milburn, Brianna Polk, Shiloh Schroeder, and Angela Stinson received freshman honors. And Ross Metters made the All-State Choir for the 2nd year in a row. Our drama club presents The Play That Goes Wrong on November 10th through the 12th in the Dickson County High School auditorium. Tickets will be on sale for $12. Next Monday night, the high school hosts the annual Haunting on the Hill, Halloween fundraiser for the Help Center. Anybody is welcome to come to enjoy fun, games, and candy. The entry cost is $2 or 2 canned food items per person. Next month, our Beta Club also travels to Gaylord Opryland Hotel for the annual State Beta Convention. Every member in our club will compete in events ranging from on-site painting to a musicology bowl. In sports, our golf team finished their season with the state tournament. Bo Kerr placed 17th and Jackson Harrington placed 4th overall. Bo Kerr said the players are extremely thankful to everyone who made the season possible. The seniors want to especially thank Coach Palace for all his hard work to put them in a position to win the past 4 years. Both our Lady Cougars soccer and volleyball teams drew their seasons to a close and both finished as district runner-ups. The cross-country team competed against 9 teams in their regional meet on Monday. The girls' team qualified for the state championship and will compete next week in Hendersonville, along with Dalen Wilson, who qualified as an individual in the boys' race. Sarah Potter was the regional girls' champion for the 2nd year in a row, and Heidi Jepson placed 9th. Nathan Markham also earned region honors for placing in the boys' race. Our wrestling team will begin their regular season practices on Tuesday. Bowling is well into their season with a 7-0 undefeated record after playing Fairview and defeating them this past Monday. Our dance team had 5 members of their team compete in the UDA Solo Showdown. Keely Bratton got 1st place in the hip-hop category, Addie Kate King got 2nd place in the pom category, Bianca Uribe got 6th, and Krista Farmer got 11th in the jazz category. And Sophia Alford got 11th in the lyrical category. The dance team said they are incredibly proud of their hard work. Our cheer team competed in the Space Center regional competition in Alabama, where they got 5th place overall. Our football team is bringing their regular season to a close. This is the first time they have made it to playoffs in over 11 years, and will travel to Memphis to play next Friday. This Friday is their last regular season game, where all football, cheer, dance, and band seniors will be recognized. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is a fundraiser held by the HOSA Club to raise money for breast cancer awareness and will be the theme for Friday's Pink Out game. To close out tonight, Dickson County High School is proud to announce Dr. Weeks as the 2022-2023 TSSAA AF Bridges Superintendent of the Year for District 6. The award recognizes people who are setting the right example, doing the right things, and setting the right standards for high school athletics in the state of Tennessee. This award ceremony will be on Thursday, November 9th. And we want to thank you for all you do for our school and Dickson County sports as a whole.
Board members, comments or questions?
I sang CJ the other day.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you very much for your reports. Next on the agenda, we have finance monthly report.
Board members, on page 11 of your documents, you will see a summary of revenues through September 30th. These represent both the monthly and quarterly reports, so we'll quickly review the monthly reports and move on to quarterly. Our revenues to date as of 9/30 were $14.3 million, which was 17.5% of our budgeted amount. Expenditures were at $19 million, which is 21% of our budgeted amount. We are still yet to receive any property tax, but I believe notices were sent out this week. I did receive mine this week. Sales tax is coming in very strong at $3.5 million, 24% of our budget. And expenditures for the categories we follow most, our utilities are at $672,000, also 25% of our budget. Diesel fuel at almost $80,000, or 17% of our budget, and gasoline at $26,000, again about 25% of our budget. Quarterly reports or detailed reports are on the pages following. You have 142 fund, the federal funds that begin on page 16. Those are flow through dollars, 17 million flowing through from federal government to the district. And 143, page 19, showing our school cafeteria funds. Those are in balance at right at $9 million. Over on page 21 of your documents, you'll see the quarterly reports. And again, the quarterly reports are a summary through that same period of time. So you'll see the detailed quarterlies. And those are the amounts that, or excuse me, these are reports that we need to approve to carry to the county commission. Ms. Frazier is here to answer any detailed questions you might have about those reports.
Any questions? Mr. Vandervoort?
Dr. Weeks, on page 12, just so I'm clear, total fund balance, 34,257, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Continues to be healthy.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve the proposed budgets as submitted.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Chadwick.
That is all three budgets for monthly and quarterly reports, just to clarify.
Yes, that's my motion.
Mr. Haley?
Question, general question. On the core reports, when we have a line item that's already exceeded, I know we can move inside the category to address that, but does it create an amendment, or is it just the report that we're turning in, approving the report?
These are reports that we do. The action of amendments are intentional objects that are brought before the board for approval. And so we try to square those up mid-year at the 50% mark, and then we're a little more intentional about those in March and April as we're working through budget amendments to get those approved by the county commission at those times. So these are just presentation of existing accounts at this point in time.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have on the agenda facility planning discussion.
Board members, as you know, we had originally scheduled a joint planning session with the county commission to share your 5-year facility plan or your longer-term facility plan with the commission. Ms. Brogdon and I had several conversations and talking with County Mayor Ryle. We felt it in the best interest of both the district and our plan to postpone that meeting till a later time. And so we made that announcement, and we formally announced and posted that announcement to cancel that meeting. At last county commission meeting, I think there was some discussion about clarifying the intent of those plans, making sure that is exactly what the board is on track to do, and that's the prioritized list that you have established. There was some other discussion during that meeting, and I think everyone's had an opportunity to. There were 3 board members there, and I think the others had opportunities to watch that meeting online and to hear discussion about potential changes in the funding availability for that long-term plan. So next planning session is a week from this coming Monday, and if you have directions for me to carry before the county commission, that it's I think that's maybe the 6th of November. If you have any directions or instructions related to that or related to other requests that you'd have me carry before the board in terms of our long-term facility plan at that point in time.
Any comments? Mr. Parker?
I rewatched both the meetings before this meeting to make sure I was thinking right. And what I gathered by the county commission, I think the biggest question on our fund balance budget amendment was the in progress things. And I know that some of them in progress things means that it is in progress to be bid, not physically being working on. But I think that in my mind, the few commissioners that were asking questions that I think is what got it tabled was the in progress things. And if you add the in progress things up, it's a very small number compared to the amount that we're trying to finish, because what we're trying to move over is including the big projects like Creekwood Gym and transportation's parking lot and those big projects, and that in progress things are a small number. If that in progress is in our general fund, I think is the right fund, then I would like to see us just take that, anything that says IP off, because no other questions were really in from the county commission holding them back other than the in progress things. And I think that was the main reason that it got tabled on that. So if it's in our funds and we've got it in our budget and we can pay for it, then we can do that, take the IP off, present that new number, which is going to be, I think, minus about $175,000 from what we're asking for. And it would just take that question out of it. And I didn't hear any other questions from the commission that would prevent them from approving that other than the IP number line items. And if y'all want to discuss that, we can, and I will motion it or second it if someone else wants to do that.
Any other comments?
Mr. Parker, I think those comments there are related to item 3C2, and I would agree with that completely.
Am I on the wrong one?
If we could hold on to that and come
Okay.
right back to that, but I do think you're on the right track for that. My questions on 3C1, where where the board had approved 3 priorities to go and approach the county commission with the Charlotte Middle School project, the other projects that were out there that were on our purple sheet that we had gone. I think we left that meeting, we suspended that meeting or postponed that meeting. So just looking for direction, or we can continue to leave that suspended until further notice. Just be at the board's pleasure.
Mr. Vandervoort?
So just based on experience in the past, sir, I think it's a imperative that we go and present what we've been working on for 2.5 years. I think we can certainly present it, demonstrate to the county commission kind of where we are, what our thoughts are, and why we came to where we are. You got to ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. I think a few of those folks, the commissioners, have been here. They've watched it for the last 1.5 years, and they just know. But I think it's imperative that we go and we present it. That way, they know for what we're asking. They know how we got here. They know what we're prioritizing. They know kind of prospectively what a plan is. And then, sure, at some point, maybe not at that meeting, obviously, but it's a work session. They can ask questions back and forth. we can have that dialogue, and eventually, sure, we're going to ask for it to be funded. But right now, we haven't even got to the point of presenting it. So we have spent 2.5 years, 3 years to some extent working on it. And I don't think we need to be deterred from presenting on what we've been working. I'm mindful of, sure, there's transition going on right now, but we may end up saying, let's table it for however long. But at least I think we need to present to the county commission, the folks that are going to fund this, so they are on the same understanding and level of what we're pursuing. If they say, no, we're not funding that, then we'll have to back up and reconsider. But I don't think we need to be deterred. I think it's imperative that we present it. So I certainly think we need to select a date, try to work with the commission and move forward.
You talking about our maintenance, or are you talking about our shotgun?
I'm talking about both, because what we're talking about, as I understand,
We're going to fund the maintenance.
3C1, the facility planning discussion,
Yeah.
what we're on now, I'm foregoing and presenting those 3 projects. But also, again, incorporated in that, in my mind, to a certain extent, is yes, providing some detail, sure, about the maintenance project. Maybe we want to leave that off. I'm fine leaving that. But I think we need to go and present the projects, the Charlotte Middle School, those things, so they'll know for what we're asking. The CTE building, I think it's important.
Mr. Haley?
I concur, Mr. Vanderboard. I think it is our job to tell the need, and I think the need is out there. It's been said, but it hasn't been presented. In being mindful of their comments, I hear them, and I think that if we have to adjust to meet some of what we're going to be allowed, I think it gets into the maintenance list and the building list, because it would beg the question, if we have to make a change from what we're asking for, we reprioritize what's important within those numbers. So I think that step to put that need out there exists. And then when we get the response that we have to make some adjustments, we probably need to go with the maintenance list and the building plan both to see what's a priority to fit that dollar amount.
Being at the commission meeting the other night, I like what Mr. Parker said. I think they looked at it when it said in progress, they thought it was already underway. I mean, physically, hammer and nail, whatever, grading, paving, whatever, painting. But it just means that we are, in the bid processing and so forth. And if we take those letters off.
Can we send someone from the board to represent us, so when they have those questions, we can answer them?
Three of us there.
I know, but you were going up there to help.
Planning session, then.
A planning session is going to be
Dialogue.
for discussion, and I mean, that gives an opportunity for Hewlett Spencer to be there, gives an opportunity for the engineers to be there, and they're going to fill in those gaps. And
I think that's what we need.
sure, it is. They need to be on the same level as we are.
Mr. Haley?
Let me throw you a curveball. I don't disagree with you, but we happen to have a meeting that same night here over setting the criteria for the director of schools. So I think we'll be meeting here while they're meeting there. That's going to be, is that the same day?
Is that 4D?
November 6th?
It is the same date, and I wasn't suggesting that and let me again be clear, we're talking about this plan, the one with Charlotte Middle School, the one with the CTE building, and then the longer range plan of a new central office, and then the longer range plan of Dickson Elementary School. I think it would probably be my recommendation that this board again asks Mayor Rao to establish another joint meeting, not on that night of the 6th, because I know this board has another meeting scheduled that evening. So I guess if you're looking for a recommendation from me, I would ask if you would either give Chairperson Brogdon or myself the ability just to contact Mayor Rao. Could we establish another joint planning session, commit to that, and then again, we can work on presentation details at that point in time. So I think prior to the meeting of the schedule on the 16th, we had a time established with Hewlett Spencer, Lyle Cook Martin. We're going to be there and make that presentation and share a little bit. I think Chairperson Brogdon was prepared to talk about a little bit about what's brought the board to these items as priorities, and then leave plenty of time for question and answer. So rather than confusing dates and trying to book some meetings and things like that, I think if you would just, if it were either by consensus or by motion to direct either of us to approach the mayor and schedule another meeting that would take place over that 16th meeting.
I think consensus would be to do that. While we're talking about these long-term plans, and I agree with both Mr. Vandervoort and Mr. Haley about it is what we decided as a board that that's what our county needs on Charlotte Middle School's expansion. Charlotte Middle School's expansion came in at $38 million. Even if we take and move $8 million to do our maintenance, that leaves us with about 25. If we spent up to 10 to aid them in funding that building, which would put us to the comfortable 15. I say that comfortable 15 because I heard Bob say 13 and I heard Danny say 18, so I'm going to call it a comfortable 15. And that only makes 26 million, because it was pretty clear to me that the county commission was willing to borrow 16. I don't know. I don't want to say it is a need, but I wonder if we need to be thinking about the need to do something different in getting that number down. Because $26 million with us spending our 10 and then borrowing 16 isn't even close to 38. And if not being close to 38, maybe we need to think about it. And I know Danny has given us this, and I looked for it and I couldn't find it. I got it somewhere on our out of zones, and our out of zones, I believe every school's got about 30. And I know that if we bring in 30, we probably gave away 30 somewhere in every school. But, out of zones for Charlotte, they might need to go back where they come from to help get that number down, and to help get that number under capacity, we may need to, say the word rezone and send them down south to some schools that got room. It's just a thought. I'm not saying we pursue that at all. I still say we pursue and present what we feel is need. But I just kind of something that I think that we should all be kind of thinking about. If we're $10 million short of building the building, I don't think that we need to. I think we need to have a plan too, because that's still the need of the county, is to get that number and that school in capacity.
I would make a motion that we ask you and Dr. Weeks to pursue a joint planning session.
Second.
And a second to pursue a meeting with Mayor Rawl and the commission. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passes. Next, we have the $8 million.
Okay, so Mr. Parker, we'll go back to comments you made prior to that. Yes, so the sewer system project, that certainly is a project that is in progress. We budgeted a rough number of $75,000 for that. The exterior sidewalk at Dickson County High School has been completed, so we can completely cross that off that list. Striping the parking lots is 80 to 90% completed. That was a budgetary number. We'll strike that from that list. Carpeting at Dickson County Lower Campus has been completed. We can strike that from that list. Football field entrance, we can, down near the bottom of the page, we can easily strike that from that list. So I'd estimate we can probably neighborhood of $150,000 to $200,000 off of the maintenance repair list.
That's what I had to add up to, and I just think that was the main question on the county table in it. That was the only question I feel like I asked that didn't get the answer and wanted more, had more questions and all the things. So if we can afford to do it, then I would say that we just strike those off the list. And I don't think that they had any more questions about the things that we were doing.
And I will clarify that the top line item on that list was security upgrades, and it did have an in progress on there because that is an ongoing. However, there was no dollar amount in the total column there. So even though that is an in progress ongoing project, it has no effect on the amounts. It was just simply listed on here as some items that we are going to.
Mr. Haley?
I would certainly expect that this joint venture will probably not fall before Thanksgiving, although it might. But knowing that we might get into December for that, whatever date we get, we can even look at addressing some of the renewed priorities prior to that. To be determined, we have several meetings for that. We can add some too, but it may be December before we get this meeting.
Comment?
I guess just so I'm clear, we're talking about presenting both of those at the same time? And I guess so it would probably be a really realistically December or January before it actually gets taken up. So I'm with Mr. Parker. I think, maybe that's how they wanted it, but right. They seemingly had just a few questions and were willing to proceed with it, but we'll go with what the majority thinks. If we want to, again, bring it all at the same time compared to separating it out. Dr. Weeks, what my question, what are your thoughts?
I was prepared to go back to this on the 6th, if that's what the board so directed me to do so. But with this list as modified for the discussion we had, but if the board prefers to other, I work with the pleasure of this board.
I would say let's go ahead and present it and ask for the funding of it. And we can have it at the work session, and if it looks like that's not going to happen, then they want it all presented at the same time, then we can do that. But otherwise, it seems like they were ready to proceed. They just had those few questions. Those are things that need to be done, the majority of them. They're not wants, they're needs. Certainly the fields are something that will take us a long way, but those are needs. Those are my thoughts. We're going to move forward on November the 6th.
Second the motion.
I'll make it a motion.
Thought you did.
It's a motion.
He made it for you.
Motion and a second to move forward with the maintenance list of the November 6th meeting.
I've got a question. Should we have a meeting before that then, or a work session, or maybe a special session to kind of button up some of those other loose ends? Because here's what I'm struggling with, is we were allowed $32 million on this project.
But I think we're just talking about this piece, all right? Are you talking about the other combining them?
I am. Here's what I'm getting at, and I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. So we've been told for almost 3 years that we've got this money. So we spent a lot of money, did some need studies, and we are way out of whack in Charlotte. Are they saying now they don't want to give us the $32 million that they were talking about earlier? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what changed? Why did we have that?
It's my understanding that it's based on the interest rate.
if that's the case, we probably need to look at that maintenance report, and everything, and let's get some of the stuff that has to be done, the roofs, the HVACs. Let's just make sure that goes. We may not, we might want to cut back on some of the other things that might be able to wait another year or two or whatever the case may be to be able to because we might have to use some of the kids' money is what it sounds like to fund this school project, right? So I would like us to, if that's going to be the case, that second list that we give them on the 6th may have to be revamped again, because if they can't do what they were originally thinking they can do, we're going to have to back up and look at things a little differently. We might have to take out a few of the wants and focus on the needs that we have, so we'll know how much that we can contribute. Does that make sense? We may not be able to put in a gym. We may not be able to turf both fields. I mean, there's just things that we probably need to get in and just really hunker down and see what we can do to help our county out. Last thing I want to do is raise taxes. I don't want the school to be the fall guy for that. So that's my thoughts. I think we need to have I think we need to present. We can present. But like I say, we might have to get together again and look at that. And we've got schools that has been needing some roof repairs for several years. Re-roofed and tarred and chipped or whatever. My thoughts. Thank you.
Mr. Haley?
I was just looking, but Cliff Note version of what you're saying is we have two different plans. We have the maintenance money, the $8 million-ish on the maintenance. Then we have a building for Charlotte and the CTE that come in the $30+ million range. What you're saying, if I'm understanding right, we approved to present both. And if they don't approve the building plan, you're saying we have to recategorize a priority of the money that we have to take care of some roofs and to take care of the needs. We have less money to do it with.
Yeah, I mean, we've had HVAC problems ever since I've gotten here. We need to get that stuff buttoned up. We need to get the roofs. Mr. Clifton has come and given us a list of things that we need to do on these roofs and everything. That's a need. We got to get that. So I think we might need to get together and see what if we're going to help the county with the school, with the kids' money, basically, we need to make sure that we've got our maintenance issues done and paid for and all of our buildings in shape before we start pulling, so we can know how much we can pull out of our budget.
Mr. Vanderboer?
I guess I'm hearing what you're saying, but again, we have spent at least a year talking about these maintenance items, and these are needs.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, whether they fund a school or not, those are things that we need to do. Because and so it's things that really the can has been kicked down the road year after year, and that time is now because we do have the money. Let's spend the money, get the money.
Well, that's what
and spend the money on those things that we have for which we have a need, and these are needs. So we need to spend that money, whether or not we quote help the county out or not, in funding a school. So if we need to go ahead and ask for those dollars, and I feel like what I heard, they understand that those things are. And then if we have additional dollars from our fund balance that we decide that we want to contribute, propose to contribute, that's separate and apart from our maintenance. We're talking about daily things that we need: parking lot, roofs, HVAC, and I contend that the turf is the same way because it's something that allows our system to grow. The amount of utilitarian use of it is just makes complete sense. And just gathering comments from hearing what the board said, coming back just here and there, and the principals and coaches, Dr. Weeks, that makes sense. We have taken a trip, looked at fields for yesterday. So that's why I bring that up. I just think I didn't, but you guys did.
They were nice.
They were nice. These are needs. And I guess my point is, that's why I think we need to go ahead and ask for it, because it's no different than any other maintenance issue that we have. We can go ahead and do it because we do have the dollar. And I'll leave it at that. Won't say anything else.
Well, I mean, if we put that CTE, we've gotten new information. If we put that CTE building where they want to put it, we're still retaining our soccer field. So there's $1.5 million there. If we have to use that to get this school going, I mean, I think I'm just saying we might need to look at it and button up to get this school built in Charlotte.
Any other comments? We have a motion and a second.
Just to repeat the motion, please.
Motion is to proceed to request of the county commission for the use of the $8.008 million to pursue the list of maintenance items that we have previously provided to them, with those amendments, removing those in progress language and those items of, I think it was up to $150,000 to $200,000 that Dr. Weeks had mentioned. So to go ahead and request that and ask that be presented at the work session and for it to move on to the next regular county meeting. That's my motion.
Second for discussion. Did you got it already? I have one more quick question. The motion before that, Ms. Frazier, taking notes, was that we approve authorization for them to set up a joint meeting, and that is going to be for the building plan part, not for this part. I understand. Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon.
Yes.
Mr. Haley.
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick.
Yes.
Mr. Underwood.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
So, board members, I will remove the items that we've talked about. I'll finalize and put a total on that amount. Again, it's going to be plus or minus, well, not plus, maybe minus up to $200,000 off that $8.08 million that we've invested.
Can you send that in an email when you get it done, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
While we were on there, item 3 of that list, we had taken some bids, and again, I'd like to share these bids with you that are related directly to that budget amendment. This is a 2-sided sheet of paper when it comes around to you, please. I'd like to start on the side that has the painting bid, and then Dickson City Schools. Bidders are Gibson Builders and Quality Coatings. And again, you'll see they bid on the exterior painting at Dickson County High School, exterior painting at Dickson Middle, interior gymnasium painting Dickson Middle, and you see a good through date, and you see a project total. I'm not prepared to make a recommendation for either. The low bidder was Quality Coatings of Tennessee, but I think we are not in position to accept the total bid. But my recommendation this evening, we do have it in our capital outlay budget. My recommendation this evening is to approve the $172.5, which is on the bottom line, first column, the exterior painting in Dickson County High School. I would recommend that we accept that low bid, $172,500. And I think in essence, what that would do is cover all of the exterior faded green on Dickson County High School. Again, we do have that money in our capital outlay budget. I would recommend that this evening.
Any comments? Mr. Haley?
We got a color picked out for that price.
Yes, sir. It's architectural bronze. That would be a standardized color that is used throughout the rest of our buildings, and it's one of the things when we talked to Mr. Clifton when he first began his work 8 or 10 years ago, that we start standardizing some things so we could have the interchangeability. So it's the same color that's the doors are at Dickson County High School now, and it's the same color we painted Dickson Elementary School and the outside of this building.
Thank you.
Mr. Parker,
Do we know if either one of these are from Dickson County?
I do not, because that's Mr. Clifton. Yes, they are.
Both.
One of them doesn't have a business license.
which one?
Low bid.
Low bid, Parker.
Thank you. And we just want to hold off on the rest, then you just want us to vote on Dickson High School's exterior.
That's my recommendation at this time. Yes, sir.
Not contingent on this 7.9 million. It's capped out like already, right?
We have that budgeted capital outlay.
You expect to do the other ones after that amendment's approved with some of that money? Is that the intent?
Yes, sir. If the county commission were to approve budgeted list that we carried, yes, sir, I'd recommend that this board at their next meeting go ahead and I think the Gibson company is a little bit all across the board. I'm sorry, not Gibson, Quality Coatings, and would hope that the board would go ahead and do that at their next meeting.
Mr. Vanderwart,
Dr. Weeks, do you know if, like quality, if their bid is contingent on receiving all the other?
It is not.
I would,
any other questions? Mr. Vanderwart,
I would make a motion, we approve the 172.5 using quality for the DCHS exterior.
Second.
motion and a second to approve the $172,500 for DCHS exterior with quality coatings. Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderburg,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion carries.
On the back of that document, board members, you'll see the bids for the paving project between the maintenance and the transportation buildings. I'm going to make a recommendation that we approve low bidder Mac Excavating LLC at a price of $368,160. I would make that recommendation contingent upon the budget amendment from the county commission. We had budgeted around $650 for that, and very pleased to see a bid of $368. However, we do not have that specifically put in capital outlay, so I would recommend that you approve that bid contingent upon approval of the budget amendment from county commission.
Motion contingent of county commission's budget approval for Mac Excavating. $368,160.
Motion, we have a second.
I'll second for discussion.
Second for discussion.
Why do we have, I got a question. Why do we have a $550,000 spread between the top and the bottom bid there?
I do think that's an excellent question. I cannot answer that. I was not at the bid opening. We did bid these by sealed bids. All interested parties had an opportunity to come to pre-bid conference, and all opportunities could have gone and seen the site. The specifications were sent to them, and those were open last Monday.
The 19th.
19th, I'm sorry, 19th. So again, we see one bid of 936 and another bid of 406 and a bid of 368.
I got called on this bid, and let me share with the board what I found that one of these companies came, and I talked with a fella that was a retired paver, and I kind of tried to get up to speed on that, and he told me that our
Mr.
bid.
Underwood,
Excuse me.
You say you got called on the bid by a bidder?
I got asked about it, and I went and talked to a retired fella that used to do this, and he looked at the bid, and he really struggled with how to bid that. And I talked to Mr. Weeks today, the bid, and I told him that I thought we'd have a wide spread, did I not, between the top and the low. And sure enough, we did. So I'd recommend that we get an engineer drawing. There's no warranty on this work. And do we know that it's? I don't. Are we replacing the culverts too, Gerald? Anybody?
That's in specification.
Okay. Because that I didn't see it, but anyway, I just feel like we need an engineer drawing, and that way we'd have an engineering company with some quality control there. Are they going to have to dig all that up between your maintenance shed and the bus?
Specification.
So you don't think they're going to have to dig that where it's all cracked?
Mr. Underwood. Do we have any other questions? Mr. Haley?
My question's on the other end of the spectrum. This is money that we used from the yet to be approved budget amendment. And I'm really concerned about approving it before we have that money approved for several reasons. While I second it for discussion, I did want to speak that part that while I may not object to either or any of the bids, I think approving it prior to that amendment, it could be risky because we approve it, and then if that amendment gets changed or the money gets changed, we have to start making some hard choices of what needs to be done first versus second. We've already approved one that might not fall first in line. While I fully expect they'll probably approve that, I think it could be approved after the money's in place for it. Not coming out capital outlay.
Mr. Banner?
It seems like all the specs were out there, and all the bidders knew exactly what those specifications were. So, what I'm understanding. So I think in this environment, there can just be that flux is what I've seen and observed. So again, it's a need. So
If, Mr. Haley, I guess you probably recommend, I guess, in what your discussion would be a recommendation to maybe table it till after the money's there.
Which if November goes as we hope it will, it'll be just next month. But I don't want to table to a date. I think the motion is to approve it. So it had to be voted. What about the seconds for discussion? That's what my intent. Now I wanted discussion to say that point. What is the need is a priority need, and if we can make the list work, then it's great. But, we're going to be 6 months, it'll be different. This bid should be good. And I don't think weather's going to be an issue. I know we went into that with Dickson Mill a few years ago, trying to get it in before the winter, but if we don't run any delays and we're not getting in before December, which is here anyway, this is a spring project, no matter how you look at it.
Any other discussion? So we have a motion to approve the bid for Max Excavating for $368,160. contingent upon the county commission approving those funds in the 8 million maintenance list, correct? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderford,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
No.
Mr. Haley,
No.
Mr. Chadwick,
No.
Mr. Underwood,
No.
Mr. Parker.
No.
5 noes, 1 nay.
I'd like to make a motion, man. Make a motion to table this bid until the November meeting. If money's approved, we can address it then. If not, we'll just have to move it to
Second that motion.
We have a motion and Mr.
Just a
Hall.
point of order, you want to table it or postpone it?
That's a question I was gonna have to ask and hoping you jump in on that. So
Yeah,
tabling it puts it off until it's brought back up.
that is correct. But
So if you
want to postpone it, if you want to bring it back up at the next meeting, then a postponement would be the defer.
I'm gonna go with the deferred.
Okay.
We'd say the motion to defer.
We have a motion to defer to the next meeting, this Max Excavating for $368,160. Is that correct?
Defer the bid approval,
Defer the bid approval.
not
The
any
whole
particular company.
bid approval
The
process.
entire process, yeah.
Second.
Second by Mr. Parker.
Just a question. So, Dr. Weiss, do we know how long the bids are good? So we'll have that in the back of our mind, because certainly we're going to
Look in the bid documents to see.
move down the trail potentially and get over into the new year, and those bids are not going to be good, and then that $936,000 number maybe.
Yeah.
We're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a motion.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying, that here, and it's not jumping out at me at this moment, so I was not prepared to answer that question. I apologize. But, I'm not saying that, just right off. Usually it's a 30-day, the bids are good for at least 30 days because of the time frame of presenting them to a board and so forth, but I'm not saying it's that.
Mr. Vanderwood, paving was not going to start until spring, so I don't necessarily know that the date was tied to that, but it was going to be a spring paving project. No, that's not a specific answer to your question.
I think with the county commission meeting is going to fall pretty close to our November meeting anyway, so if we approve it contingent, I don't pass it, it's not going to fly. wait for them to approve the money. It's going to be the same time.
Any other comments? So we have a motion to defer the bid to the next meeting for approval by the county commission. Correct. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderbilt,
No.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 nay.
Next item on the agenda. Which one? Same item.
Board members, going around to you are lighting proposals that we have received from the Musco Court Lighting Project. Musco had an opportunity to look at facilities at Charlotte Middle School, Dickson Middle School, William James Middle School, Dickson County High School, and Creekwood High School. Musco is a national corporation that provides Sourcewell pricing. They do contract with a local contractor, and that local contractor provides and installs LED lighting for ball fields that are in compliance with TSSAA regulations. And we've reviewed these documents. They've come and take a look at those facilities that I mentioned before. And so again, within our capital outlay budget that is already approved, you would see on page 9 of 12, Dickson County High School softball lights at $117,000. On page 11 of 12, the Creekwood High School softball lights at $102,000. And back on page 3 of 12, the Charlotte Middle School football field lights there at $139,000. And after we received this quote, the local contractor told me we would need to purchase poles at Charlotte Middle School in the amount of $69,000 added to that quote at Charlotte Middle School. So I would propose that board take these 3 items as well as the addition of the poles at Charlotte Middle School football field, to take those 3 items plus the poles for those lights from capital outlay.
Please tell me which ones you're talking about again.
Charlotte Middle School football at $139,000 plus $69,000 for poles. Dickson County High School softball, $117,000. Creekwood High School, $102,000.
Creekwood High School, all 3 fields?
Softball.
Softball. Thank you. The money's in capital outlay for those?
For those projects, yes, sir.
Not contingent on the approval of the funds from the county on that?
Not contingent on those, not contingent on those monies, but again, if that budget amendment were approved, it would be very nice to take those from that money. We can do it from capital outlay, or we could do it contingent upon the budget amendment. They've given us about a 4 to 6 week lead time, and we have every belief that we could be playing softball field under those lights at 2 high schools.
Questions?
I wonder what the difference is in the 40,000 between Charlotte Middle and William James Middle. $179 and $139. What? Why the $40,000 difference? Football fields are the same size.
I had roughly the same question about the difference in football fields, baseball fields, and softball fields. There's quite a difference between football field and softball and baseball. I realize certainly that there are differences in sizes of the fields, but these are the quotes that the company provided to us.
I point out something on that,
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, Mr. Director, the Charlotte, who's glancing over it, doesn't have holes in the middle of the page where William James has 4 galvanized steel poles, concrete bases, but we're having to add the poles on to the Charlotte Middle football. So I think that's probably really part of the difference. You ask Mr. Clifton, see if he can be correct or.
I think that's correct, but I think if you read on there, you'll find out William James is also taking care of overhead lines and doing that.
Okay. That's the big difference right there.
If Charlotte's already underground,
Mr. Vandervoort.
Just what I'm seeing here, small print is on all of these, it says the quote is confidential. Pricing and lead times are effective 30 days only. Prices are subject to change if the order is not released within 60 days from the date of the purchase. So, Mr. Hall, I'm assuming that means.
On the lighting, we found in paving, it's not.
Okay. But on the lighting's 30. Good.
Well,
Good.
it's the same, we use the same specs. But I think this would be 30, yeah.
The 3 you're asking for is capital outlay, not particular, right?
Yes.
The 3 we're asking for is not capital outlay and not. I'm gonna make the motion to approve that recommendation.
Motion to approve, second by Mr. Parker, to approve the Charlotte Middle School football field and poles, the Dickson County High School softball field, and Creekwood High School softball field. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderbilt,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
yes,
all ayes.
Madam Chair. Or
Yes,
maybe
sir.
this might be the best question for the director. What is our time frame on the rest of these quotes, the football fields and the baseball fields? Or we wait until budget amendments?
I'd like to wait on those and
Is
do
it-
budget amendments.
We're running out of capital outlay to
We-
do all them.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We've, yes, sir.
perfect. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could go back to the grading and paving, it is a 90-day, Dickson County Schools shall have 90 days to accept this bid on paving. That was from the low bidder.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So it's on grading and paving. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are there any other?
We'll take-
We want to take 5-minute recess.
Board members, on item 41, page 41 of your document, we would recognize, please still here, Dr. Robbie Faulkner. Dr. Faulkner announced her retirement last week, and we had a celebration for this event, celebrate her 30 years. Dr. Faulkner, we congratulate you for that. You do see several resignations on page 41, 3 leaves of absence, non-renewal dismissal, and then you see several hires, transfers, and reassignments on pages 41 and 42. Ms. Hall, thank you for the work that your department has done on those items.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Hall. Next item on the agenda is special permissions.
Board members, in your packets, you have 3 special permissions on 43, 44, 45. I did have one come in late that I would like to add to there. On page 43, Dickson Middle School UCA Championship in Memphis on 10/28. Dickson County High FFA Convention 10/31 through 11/4 in Indianapolis. Dickson Middle School to Lebanon, Tennessee. Dickson Middle Cheer, that is, 11/18. And I received Camp Clements from Dickson County High Ag from 11/17 and 11/18. Dickson County High School Ag, Camp Clements, overnight trip 11/17, 11/18. They do have the correct boxes checked on your travel sheet. Would recommend approval on those 4 trips.
Any questions?
They staying overnight in Lebanon?
Does not appear to be, so that trip should not have been in your packet. It's not required to be approved by the board. It's not an overnight or out-of-state trip. All right.
Move to approve all.
Second.
We have a move to approve all trips in a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderburg,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes, I don't know the answer for Mr. Chadwick. Decided, Mr. Chadwick, I'm sorry.
all ayes.
He likes that.
Next item on the agenda is DCHS campus construction project.
Members, item 4A in your packet was postponed from last month. We did not have representatives from the program for Dickson County High. We do this evening. Originally page 52, but now page 46 in your packet. Item 4A requests to add a campus construction project from the Ag Department. This is a large animal facility. Mr. Weaver's here for DCHS Ag. Mr. Principal Holly is here, and they could be glad to answer questions. I think from our last conversation, as I recall, there was question about where this facility was going to the exact placement of this facility was going to be. I think in concept, we approved everything about the facility and where it was going to be, but I think if one of you gentlemen could address the location of that pleases the board.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
So the building will be placed behind where our barn is now in what I call the back pasture. It's going to be placed back behind the barn. You honestly, you may not ever see it.
Have any other questions? Mr. Haley?
Is it gonna have electricity?
Yes.
Is that part of the package right here already planned on the pricing? Didn't we do the last electricity after we did the same thing last time with no electricity? Are you gonna expect us to do it this time? If you are, I'd rather see you put it on the front end.
Yes.
Any other questions?
What's your proposal for your start time on this? When y'all gonna try to get it built, you know that? You can ballpark it, let me, this fall or next spring?
I have to reach back out, y'all will, most attorney. I think I got this put together back in July. Oh, wow.
Bid says 6 to 8 weeks after approval. on page 5347.
Tell us a little about the building.
So essentially what it all is going to be, we have a $10,000 cattle working system that's behind the barn right now, and it's essentially going to cover it. So we're just going to get that out of the weather, kind of protect our equipment, because that's a one-time type thing. And then hopefully it's going to serve as a large animal facility. So we have cattle working panels and things that's around our facility, and give them those kind of walls to be up against. I think it's going to make it safer for our students to work with and have something a little bit more permanent, set up flatter ground there for it, flatter grade. It's just going to make it safer is my goal, and then cover.
So I toured a farm one time and on the farm tour and noticed that they had the cattle working area attached to a shed off to an existing barn. Why do you want a separate building instead of doing a shed off this barn where you can share electricity and stay in the drive from one to the other and make it an extension?
It's the main reason is the location of what we have up there at the barn. It's just kind of tight there. So this being right on the back, it's not going to be very far behind where our shed is off our existing ag barn. Yeah, honestly, maybe about 30, 40 feet just back to the back of it. And so let's just kind of get it out of the way where we can kind of move around it and incorporate it with the back pasture that we have, where I can turn animals to go out of this one or share with the pasture, the building we have there now.
All right, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Any other questions? Mr. Parker?
I would like to ask our state representative her thoughts on it.
I think it would be a great addition for the ag department, just because I know they do a lot back there with the building, and I know it would be something they would use. It wouldn't go to waste.
Thank you, Ms. Pitney.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Motion to approve by Mr. Underwood. Second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other questions? So the motion's to approve the campus construction project. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Vanderbilt,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all aye.
Next item on the agenda is the Director of School search updates. I want to remind everyone about the meeting that TSBA is having on November 30th, Monday, at Dickson Middle School. We encourage your input on the selection process, and we encourage you to take the online survey. Board members have any comments?
Is the online survey posted on our website?
Yes, sir. On the district website.
I'd say thank you for the robocalls. You did a good job, and hopefully it's being effective. I think it is.
You're a natural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good job.
If there are no further questions, the next item is intent to collaborative conference, DCEA.
Distinguished board members, distinguished educators. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Terry Joyce, and it is my honor and privilege to serve as the Vice President of the Dickson County Education Association. I am here tonight to submit to you a petition. A petition containing the signatures of Dickson County educators regarding our interest in beginning the collaborative conferencing process with you. As this board knows, Tennessee Annotated Code 49-5-603 recognizes that the collaborative relationship between the school board and its professional employees works to our mutual aid and benefit. Together, through this collaboration on educational climate and working environment, we can achieve the same goal: to attract, support, and retain a highly qualified professional staff. The Professional Educators Collaborative Conferencing Law, or PECA, recognizes the obligations of the board, together with its teachers, to collaborate on matters relating to the terms and conditions of professional employee service and sets forth the process whereby together we can produce a mutual agreement or a memorandum of understanding on issues such as salary, insurance, and working conditions. By submitting these signatures, we, the educators of Dickson County, signify our desire to begin this collaborative process with you. Data suggests that school districts who have a memorandum of understanding attract and retain more teachers. We hope to join with our neighboring school systems, such as Robertson County, Clarksville, Montgomery County, Williamson County, Murray County, and Rutherford County, who have already completed this PECA process and have all successfully ratified a memorandum of understanding between the districts and their employees. At this time, I would like to share with you a video attestation of some of those school districts who have already collaborated in the PECA process.
In the past, Tennessee teachers exercised their collective voice through the process of collective bargaining. Today, it is done through collaborative conferencing. Collaborative conferencing is the legally approved method that Tennessee's teachers can have a collective voice in many important aspects of their job. The purpose of collaborative conferencing is to ensure teachers have a voice in their role as educators.
It's important for the district to know what's going on in classrooms and the struggles that teachers are facing. So I think it's important, especially in today's age where teachers are sort of getting it from all sides, it's important that they have a voice and that they know that there's someone there that's on their side.
When teachers and school district administrators engage in collaborative conferencing, they have an opportunity to present their interests and concerns, along with proposed solutions in a safe, transparent environment.
Collaborative conferencing is not an us versus them situation. It is about educators coming together, supporting each other, and moving forward for the benefit of our students.
The law provides that once teachers request to collaboratively conference, it is an obligation of both the board and the teachers to engage.
In a lot of ways, it makes the work more efficient because you do meet before a crisis comes. You plan how you are going to handle issues down the road by defining how you'll handle that before there's a question.
There are 7 key areas which can be negotiated under PECA. Salaries and wages, grievance procedures, insurance, fringe benefits, working conditions, leave, and payroll deductions.
I would recommend collaborative conferencing because it allows us to build relationships with our district leaders. It defines who we are and what we have. It tells everything about our working conditions, our work day. It outlines for everybody to know and understand our rights and our responsibilities, and it's just very clear.
Collaborative conferencing has benefited educators in my district with dealing with some very important issues. Wages and salaries, benefits like our insurance. We cannot leave out our working conditions and grievances.
Now that we know what collaborative conferencing means and what it's used for, how do we get the ball rolling? To begin the process, educators should reach out to their local TEA UniServe coordinator. TEA has UniServe coordinators across the state working with educators in every school district. TEA offers free joint training for both association and school district administrative teams, which can help facilitate the process.
Teachers are undergoing so much stress and so much of an increase in workload that they need to feel like there's someone that they can speak to. What we can see in working with the people on the management side is that they really do care about teacher concerns and they want that information as well. And so we can be a voice for those teachers.
Additionally, there are also resources on the Tennessee Education Association website.
I would encourage administrators, educators in another district to absolutely give collaborative conferencing a try. It is coming together and problem solving, which is what we encourage our students to do. So why wouldn't we model that same example?
Contact your local TEA Uniserve coordinator today and take the first step toward creating a fairer and more transparent education workplace.
I do want to make mention that this video was filmed before the state changes to payroll deductions. So it would be 6 items that we would be collaborating on, not 7. The first pages of the document that I'm submitting to you contain the wording of the actual online petition. And on the subsequent pages, you will find the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of over 100 teachers in our district. As the board knows, under the law, once this petition has been submitted to you, the board then has the responsibility to appoint an equal number of board members and professional employees to serve on a special question committee. The special question committee outlines the conditions and particulars of conducting a confidential poll of all eligible professional employees about whether or not they would like to engage in collaborative conferencing. As president-elect of the association and as chair of the PEC committee, I would be honored to accept an appointment to serve on said special question committee if this board deems fit. Again, I thank you for your time and for allowing us to submit this petition. I know I speak for the entire association when I say that we look forward to collaborating with you in this process as we all work together for our common goal, supporting the great students and teachers of Dickson County Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce. We'll acknowledge that you've presented a petition to us for collaborative conferencing and that it was presented in October. And we'll validate the petition and proceed with the process at the next board meeting. Thank you. Next item on the
Madam Chair, I got a ton of questions. If y'all got a few hours, I was hoping someone else would ask one and maybe answer some of mine, but no one spoke up. You reference, as we know, I don't know any of the laws. I guess I'll refer to.
Mr. Parker, can we validate the petition and all?
I don't even know what that means.
To go through the process, we need to do the first steps before we proceed with the other.
Good.
Then we can get your questions answered.
There'll be training and everything, explain the process. Under the law, we just need to validate this. We need to accept the petition, then we have to go through a validating process. Once we do that, then we'll have training.
This isn't really a choice.
No.
Okay. We go roll on.
It's good.
Yeah.
Get the valid.
Well, I would make a motion that we acknowledge, accept the petition as submitted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to acknowledge and accept the petition.
To move to the next.
To move to the next,
validation process.
at the next board meeting.
As stated.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervert,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the November meeting discussion. Haley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was doing some calendar work and looking. We got a busy month in November, looks like, doesn't it? With convention, with a meeting November the 6th, and Dr. Weeks made an announcement 60 days ago about the the resignation on November the 29th. As I look at the calendar, our board meeting, which usually will fall before Thanksgiving this year, due to convention falls the Thursday after, which is the day after. I think it'd be prudent for this board to move our board meeting from November the 30th to November 28th to allow for the proper transfer, any last minute business, and the proper recognition for a term served. I would move that we reschedule the November meeting date from November 30th, November 28th, same time, same location.
Second motion.
A motion to move the November board meeting to November the 28th. You have a second? Any other discussion? Okay. Will that work?
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion?
Same time.
Same time, same place, 7 p.m. here.
28th at 7 p.m. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderburg,
Yes.
Ms. Brockton,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Next item on the agenda is the interim director contract. I think you all have a copy of the contract we have with Dr. McCord for professional services for the job of interim director. It's based on a director pay rate. You can have it for your review.
Madam Chair.
Mr.
So
Vandervoort.
it looks like on the next to last page, it's for a specified time period of November the 15th through March the 1st of 2024. Basically 72 days. So it gives this board through March 1 to try to get a director hired. So just for clarity. I understand.
Yes, sir. Any other comments?
And
Mr.
everybody
Haley?
having time to review and look over it, I'll make a motion that we accept it. I see Dr. McCord has gone over it and has affixed her signature. So I think that part's been worked out. It's the rate we're paying now with the fringe benefits removed. So I make a motion we approve it.
I would second.
Have a motion to approve the contract in a second.
The March 1st, it will terminate at the point of we hire, for instance, February 1st. We can't have two directors under contract, is that correct?
Should be an interim.
The way I read that, and you are correct, but I think that would have to be addressed at that point. It also allows for days for Dr. McCord to allow transition for a new director and not, hey, you're out of here, they're in. There'll be a transition period. It allows 2-week transition up front and up to 30 days on the back. Gives us some cushion in case we run into snow days, delays, or whatever. It seemed to work out for the retirement days, and it really gives us a lot of benefits before and after the vote.
And that's fine too. I agree with all that. Just want to make sure that if our timeline rolls like we hope it does, and hiree is on February 1, then we would have two contracts, I guess.
She's on a contract to work here anyway. It would just be a different rate. That position would be for a transition area. And it also reads that it could be adjusted if need be also.
Mr. Parker.
Yes, sir.
We need the help.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to make sure that we wasn't going to have any kind of issue with two contracts. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. A roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderburg,
Yes.
Ms. Brockton,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion carried.
Put your picture on mine, just ignore it.
Staples came out of a couple of them.
Director of Schools report.
Board members, the Director of Schools report, monthly activities through October 16th are in your packets. Coming around to you are the directors and coordinators and other leaders' activities for the period also ended October 26th. Again, I'm thankful for the opportunity. We've had a great couple of weeks or so after break, and it's been positive to be back. So I think we've had a lot of exciting things. Our student representatives told you of several things that are going on at their schools. I'm very appreciative of all the student support, the activities they've been involved in, and the parental support. In-touch message did go out tonight. Q1 report cards are going out. We would remind the public that Monday is also a professional development day for staff. And following week is parent-teacher conferences. And so we remind them our general hours for parent-teacher conferences are from 11 to 7. But we've given principals flexibility to include 1 hour for a lunch or dinner break. However, they individually schedule that through their departmental supervisors. Board members, I would like to bring one item to your attention that we usually talk about policies at planning sessions, but I would like to bring to your attention there's a policy that this board will soon need to address in the next set of policy upgrades I would recommend. But there is a new law related to paid parental leave. This went through the legislature this year. This is a sample policy, and I honestly think this may have been completed before all the details were worked out. Those of you that were at summer law conference with us heard some discussion of this, but I think there's been a lot of further conversation about this. So this provides paid parental leave to employees that are required by law to have a license, and I think. I've been pleased over the last 10, 11 years. I think we have tried to treat all of our employees at the same level of respect and the same level of benefit. So this law as passed and the model policy reads that certified employees, which would be licensed employees, if you will, and I think that has been defined by our state as certainly licensed teachers, licensed administrators, but has also been extended to licensed nurses, and has also been extended to those that require a license for their position, such as bus drivers. However, that policy and that law as it reads does not extend that benefit to those of our employees who would not require a license, such as those maybe in our human resources office, those secretarial staff in our other offices, teacher assistants, and other employees such as that. So again, I'm not asking you to read a policy, discuss a policy during a regular board session. I think that's best done in a planning session, but I would like to bring that to your attention so that you consider what this board would like to do, because I think that's going to establish a precedent. There are some districts that are leaving the law as it is and leaving it to mainly those employee groups that require a license. Again, administrators, teachers, bus drivers, nurses. There are some certain office employees, like if we required a CPA license, then there are certainly some business offices that do that. But I think that's going to require some thought on your part and some discussion. It is certainly a cost to the board, and it is an ongoing unknown cost to the board. So again, I would just like to put that on your plates to think about for discussion for upcoming meetings. Ms. Pitney mentioned the recognition by the TSSAA. I am honored by that. I'm honored to serve this district, and thank you, Dickson County High. Love supporting our athletes and being out involved with them. So thank you for that honor, and look forward to bringing that recognition back to the district on behalf of TSSAA. And Mr. Van Voort, sorry it's late, but we had the opportunity, Mr. Van Voort served faithfully as chairman of this board for 5 years. Somewhere among that 5 years, in the last 6 months or so, we lost your gavel, so I found another gavel for you. Carry this one home and put that on your wall. But Kurt, thank you for your service. And I have promised Miss Brogdon we do have a new gavel on the way for her. And that's all I have for this evening. Thanks.
Next, we have Ms. Madden.
Well, being back 2 weeks and boy, do we have a full schedule. We would like to talk about the 100th year anniversary that William James had in their school. And the teacher who spoke had on briefly talked about how impressed the teachers were that the students of the day incorporated what they were learning into what happened in the past. Congratulations to the Baltimore girls volleyball team. They were runner-up in the state. This was the first year for middle school state championship in volleyball. The Discovery School had a book character dress up day, but in order to participate, they had to bring their book with them. They just couldn't dress up. They had to prove that they were actually had read the book. Vanware Elementary School on November the 3rd from 5:30 to 7 will have the fall community celebration. They're going to have touch a truck, food trucks, a family event. Literacy night is a historic burn on November 16th. That's what each grade level comes up with activities based on reading, and the kids and parents come in and do the activities. Discovery School on November the 20th is having a family game night, which is in cooperation with Title I. They also will have food trucks, and their games will begin at 6 o'clock, about 7:30. Then on the personal note, I had a niece on the Dickson County High School bowling team. She's my favorite niece, but she's the only niece. When you watched her play this afternoon, they crushed some. But they're undefeated right now. I think it's 8-0. 8-0 is what they are. So they're rolling. This is a great improvement of what's happened in the past. And to you, Dr. Faulkner, we appreciate what you've done for Dickson County, and we appreciate from the DCA point of view, you meeting with us and listening to us. Gripes and all. And Dr. McCord, we look forward to working with you and welcome aboard Dr. Weeks. Thank you for starting this whole process of us meeting. We appreciate that. Board members, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Madden.
I have a question for her, please.
Mr.
Man, what was that banner date again, please?
November 3rd.
Thank you.
You got a question, Mr. Parker?
Did you say the bowling team? And you said they was rolling along and stuff.
Mr. Badwick?
Can you send these items like to us in my email? No, because I participated in some of those.
Thursday night's awesome. And then later on, we will have, most schools will have something like that. Science, math, corporation.
Thank you, Ms. Madden. Do we have any comments by board members? Mr. Parker?
I like to say congratulations to Miss Robbie. We didn't always agree on everything, but that's okay. And I never heard nothing bad. It's sure you'll be missed. And the last year I've enjoyed it, so congratulations. And sure you'll be successful no matter what you do.
We'll miss you.
I know you were one. No, I get the soft truck yet. I know you were Blair's teacher. Appreciate that. And also keep in mind, all I taught you about how to dissect a frog.
All right, Lincoln.
30 years is a long time for you. For the ones we see come through with 25, 30, 40 years, it's a commitment. community. And while it sometimes seems like a thankless job, it's just not. Good luck. Laura, they'll be lucky to have you.
Dr. Faulkner, the same. Thank you for bringing all your talents that you've brought over the years to this system and making it what it is. It's like you've been an integral part of it. Dr. McCord, sitting behind you, has been an integral part of it, and we are so blessed to have you here in this position. So thank you for your willingness to serve. Thank both of you for serving, because I have come to realize that it is a service. So thank you both. Dr. Weeks, thank you. And thank this board for allowing me to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk, for your service. I'm impressed. I've not seen tears, Robbie. Except for Mr. Chadwick, but we appreciate everything you've done and all your dedication. We're thankful for Dr. McCord, and we're thankful for all the work Dr. Weeks has done and is continuing to do for us. We really appreciate that. Miss Pitney, yes.
I know I can speak for a lot of students when I say this, that the impact you've made on us is something we can never forget. So thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pitney. Have a motion to adjourn?
Please.
All right.